In the words of Danny Minogue, this is it. This is the 90 series Land Rover short wheelbase. Coming nearly a year after the 110 series Defender launch in Australia, the 90 series is the design and style icon of the Defender range, much more so than the usual Range Rover, Discovery and Evoque. Is this a case of style over substance or sentimentality over common sense? I think the answer will surprise you. With 8 models, 5 engines and 4 special packs to choose from, things can get pretty complicated. So we've divided this up into chapter markers with time codes right here for you to go to exactly where you want to be. Plus, if you're watching this on YouTube, there are special chapter markers in the time frame below to make it even easier. If you're not sure that the new Defender is right for you, we've reviewed hundreds of other four-wheel drives, so if you want to keep abreast of any new ones on the market, hit subscribe and the bell icon so you don't miss any of our new videos. If you need more information, you can always go to the full review at the CarsGuide website by clicking the link below. The pricing of the new Defender is not for the faint-hearted. This 90 in Fuji White starts at $74,516 before on-road costs, and that doesn't include many extras.
Standard features include active cruise control, dual-zone climate control, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, digital radio, a 10-inch touchscreen, surround view camera, heated folding door mirrors, semi-electric front seats, 18-inch wheels, and all the most important safety features, which I'll cover in detail in the safety chapter. Next up is the S, adding leather upholstery, digitised instrumentation, a front centre console, rear seat armrest and 19-inch alloys, while the SE brings matrix LED headlights, better leather, fully electric front seats, 10-speaker 400-watt audio upgrade and 20-inch alloys. Climbing up to the XS edition ushers in a panoramic sunroof, privacy glass, refrigerated console bin, rear view camera mirror, cooled as well as heated front seats, wireless smartphone charging and electronic air suspension with adaptive dampers. The X brings a few more off-road related items, as well as a head-up display and another audio upgrade, while the V8 boasts blacked out trim, higher grade leather, 22-inch wheels and an activity key, which is a wearable watch that allows for vehicle access. These are amongst a host of other goodies. Note that metallic paint adds between $2,060 and $3,100 to the bottom line, while a contrasting roof is another $2,171. Ouch. Land Rover claims that 95% of the Defender is new, and while its styling is meant to evoke the classic models built over the 3 distinctive generations offered until 2016, the fact is they are nothing alike.
The 90 refers to 90 inches, which was the original wheelbase length of the original generation Defenders. This one has been lengthened to 101.9 inches, so technically this is a Defender 101.9, but that just sounds dumb. The other thing is, it's got this glass area here, though on this particular model it's heavily tinted, which gives it a distinct look, while these pressed steel wheels, which are painted white in a very 80s kind of fashion, give the Defender 90 at this base grade quite a utilitarian look.
For many fans, the move to a monocoque construction is probably the biggest departure for the Defender, and while it is bigger in every dimension than before, Land Rover technology has actually improved the Icon 4x4's off-road prowess. Key points to keep in mind is that ground clearance is 225mm, rising to 291mm with the optional air suspension. Everything about the way the Land Rover looks screams adventure.
So while this isn't a hosed-down interior like Defenders of old, it's certainly a wiped-down interior with cloth seats and rubber floor mats, but it's of a solid and high-quality feel and texture. It's actually pretty modern in here. It's got the 10-inch touchscreen, the Pivo Plus system, which is new across the Jaguar and Land Rover ranges. There's storage here, There's a shelf unit here, there's a shelf unit here, a shelf unit here, a glove box which is actually a little bit larger than it looks. It looks a bit narrow when you open it. The door pockets can take a bottle if you lay it down. And then there's this situation. This here looks like an armrest with a couple of big gulp style cup holders and 4 charge ports, including 2 USB-C outlets. But in fact, it's a jump seat. You just lift it up and it's quite heavy because it keeps in with the solid feel of a Land Rover. And what you're left with is a fully formed seat belt, backrested, headrested, middle seat, turning this into a 6-seater compact SUV. I can't think of another 4x4 or 4-wheel drive or SUV made since 1990 that offers this sort of practicality. And now for the part you've all been waiting for, the rear seat. Getting in is pretty straightforward. There's a handle here, just one touch, and a bit of a shove because, as I said, heavy seats, solid build. And then you've got to clamber your way in and sit yourself down and pull this seat towards you. Now, it doesn't actually go back to where it was, which is a bit annoying, but the seats are good. There's more space than you'd expect, and there's actually a lot here. You have directional air vents down just below the center console, a couple of bottle holders down by where your ankle would be, and overhead lighting and speakers. This area here from the bottom to the top is only 397 litres, and that's not so good. I mean, that's small SUV levels of cargo capacity, but obviously being a wagon, if you fold these seats down, you're left with a stepped but quite practical square space. It's finished in the same rubbery plasticky materials as the front, so that's good. Let me remove this cargo cover, which is quite flimsy, and actually it might make a good papoose or a sash. I can sashay away wearing this. Anyway, what we're left here is actually a little pedal band or a large pedal band, because if you pay the $1,853 for the jump seat, the optional jump seat, you've got 3 seats up front, which is good for a small family or a bunch of friends who want to go out. And yet you've got enough space for you to load up a dishwasher or a photocopier or something square and big. It's easy to load, although you've got to watch this step here. It's easy to unload. There's not much you can kind of scuff or damage. There's a light back here. There's a hook. And you've got this side opening door with a bit of extra storage, so that's good too. So it's not as bad as you might think, being a short wheelbase Defender. And I think there's been quite a lot of smart thinking that's gone into packaging this car as a result. But as I said earlier, that centres around paying for that optional front centre seat.
The only crash test rating relevant to Australia for the Defender is the 110 Wagon's 5-star result, obtained in 2020. Which means there isn't a specific one for the Defender 90 short wheelbase, but Land Rover states the shorter version retains the same status. It does get 6 airbags, dual front and side airbags, plus curtain airbags that cover both rows. That's a relief. All versions also include autonomous emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist recognition, active cruise control, traffic sign recognition that will alert you if the speed limit changes, rear cross traffic alert, lane guidance, blind spot alert, and a surround view camera, among other standard safety gear.
Unlike classic old Defenders, this isn't a rattly and dirty and stinky old diesel, but in this particular example, the P300, a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo, but there's also, as I said earlier, 4 other engines to choose from, including 2 inline 6s, one a diesel, one a petrol, and a thundering V8.
Petrol-powered Defenders first. The P300 uses a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo, offering 221 kilowatts of power and 400 newton-meters of torque. The P400, meanwhile, ups the ante with a 294 kilowatt, 550 newton-meter, 3-litre inline 6-cylinder engine, while the P525 provides a thundering 386 kilowatts, 625 newton-meters of 5-litre supercharged V8 thump that streaks past the 100 km/h mark in just 5.2 seconds. 2 3-litre turbo diesels are available, the 147 kilowatt 500 newton-meter D200 or gutsier 183 kilowatt 517 newton-meter D250. All engines drive all 4 wheels via an 8-speed torque converter automatic transmission. Speaking of four-wheel drive, the Defender features a twin-speed transfer box with high and low range. Land Rover's latest terrain response is also available, which varies accelerator response, differential control and traction sensitivity according to prevailing conditions. According to the official combined fuel figures, the P300 averages a disappointing 10.1 litres per 100 kilometres. Superior economy is promised by the diesels, with both the D200 and D250 recording 7.9 litres per 100 kilometres. This is aided by mild hybrid technology, which helps store wasted brake energy in a special battery to help save fuel. Things get worse again with the P400's 9.9 litres per 100 kilometres, though it must be pointed out that this is too a mild hybrid setup and so is slightly better than its smaller and less powerful P300 sibling. Worst of the lot is the V8, with its 12.8 litres per 100 kilometre thirst. Of course, all petrol Defenders prefer to gulp down premium unleaded. It ain't cheap. Nowadays, all Land Rovers come with a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty with roadside assistance. While cap price servicing is not available, a prepaid service plan costing between $1,950 and $2,650 depending on engine is available, though for the V8 that tops out to a fairly hefty $3,750. Service intervals are driving and condition based, with a service indicator on the dashboard as per many BMWs. We recommend a trip to the dealer every 12 months or 15,000 kilometres, just to be sure.
Even though the P300 is the cheapest of the Defender 90 series, it isn't at all compromised or undernourished in terms of its performance. The 221 kilowatt, 400 newton meter, 2-litre turbo is a ripper of an engine. It loves a rev, it's quick off the mark, and it feels zingy enough to feel quite strong and muscular. You know, it's got the oomph you need when you're overtaking. The 8-speed torque converter auto, which is made by ZF, I believe, is smooth and silky, and it's always in the right gear when you need to, put your foot down and get a move on. When it comes to steering, well, that's a bit of a mixed bag. Around town, where a lot of these 90s will live, most people will find the steering light and progressive, and it offers a really tight turning circle, so it's easy to maneuver, really easy to park, and very simple to judge. It's one of the best aspects of this car compared to the old version, which was quite truck-like. But out on the open road, and particularly if you're doing freeway speeds or you're driving down mountain kind of passes, which you are likely to do in a lifestyle vehicle as capable as this, the steering's lightness kind of translates to a more remote and detached feel. It doesn't really involve the driver. It's just a little bit too light and remote for my tastes. The suspension is a huge area of improvement if you're used to the old short wheelbase 90 Defenders. It's not super supple or soft or plush. For that, you need to spend extra on the optional and excellent air suspension. But what it is it's absolutely serviceable in a SUV, particularly one with premium pricing. I think one of the great achievements with the Defender is it's maintained its off-road prowess and capability, but now Land Rover has created a car that is confident on-road as well. So, sentimentality or common sense? Well, in the end, it's a bit of both. Land Rover seems to have managed to combine both in a very appealing package. Overall, as a charming, capable and distinctive reimagining of what is the granddaddy of all SUVs, I think the Defender really hits the mark. If you want to know more, you can always go to the written review at the CarsGuide site, or hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to keep abreast of all the latest news and reviews that we've got to offer.